All right, here we go. Let's start this off. You guys did this last year, I think, but you did it with maybe parabolas and some other types of graphs. All right, where you shifted them up, down, left, and right. Today, we're only going to shift them up and down. So look at my first one that I have here. I have sine of x, and now I'm going to add 3 to it. So I'm taking the sine curve we worked with yesterday and adding 3 to it. What effect do you think adding 3 to it will have? It's going to shift the entire graph up 3. Yes. So we're going to shift up 3. I want to answer these questions first, and then we'll graph it. So it's going to take our entire sine curve and shift it up 3. So that means my max and my min will no longer be -1 and +1. I'll have new maxes and mins, and I want to know what are they. So think about it. I'm taking -1 and a maximum of 1, shifting them up 3 units. What's my new minimum? What's my new maximum? Alex, you ended it, so I need somebody else. What was my old minimum before I pre-shift? -1. I just shifted it up 3. What's my new minimum value? Oh boy. You're darn right. It's -1, and then you shifted it up 3, so it should be 2. Not off the hook yet, because you got to do the max for me. What was pre-shift max? 1, and you shifted it up 3, so my new max is 4. Need somebody. You got the easy part. What's my new range if I know my maximum and min are? 2, 4 with brackets. Yep. Minimum always comes first, by the way. We got a little confusion with that third period. 2, 4. Where's the middle? What's that horizontal line where the middle values will be? Well, let's see. Where was it yesterday? Anybody remember? It was the x-axis, right? Which we called what? Y equals 0. I just shifted up 3. Where's the new midline? Y equals 3. Yep. It was y equals 0, but now that I shifted up 3, the midline shifts up 3. So now it's y equals 3. Now let's talk about graphing it. I am going to give you a suggestion that always helps me out. You can use it or just throw it in the trash. I don't care. Okay? What I like to do first is I like to graph what it looks like before I shift it. That's why you have 2 colors right now. So what I like to do first, I just want to do the sine curve first. Graph the sine curve, and then I'm going to take every single point on there and move it where? Up 3. If you can do that without doing the original, hey, go after it. All right? I don't know. I just like graphing the original first, pre-shift, and then moving all the points myself. So this is what I mean. So I'm going to graph the original. And hopefully, if we've been here the last couple days, we're pretty good at this. And I just, I can do different colors. If you don't have different colors, I just do like a light sketch of it. And now I'm going to take every point and move it up 3. Okay, going to take every point and move. Again, this is my original sine curve. Everyone agrees? My original sine curve. So now I'm going to take my original sine curve and shift every point up 3 units. Again, it is not required that you draw me the original. If you can do this in your head and say, okay, here's the point, shift it up 3, without drawing the original, fine. Helps me out though. If you do it this way though, by graphing the original, you know what I'm going to ask you to do? Which one am I looking at? Which one's the sine x plus 3? Label the one that's supposed to be graphed. All right, y equals sine x plus 3. Okay. Any issues doing that? Any issues? Whatever you feel comfortable doing. 2 graphs or 1, up to you. Anything I can answer now? Who answered that last question there? Braden, I need somebody new here. Okay, next one here. People complain third period. Why can't we graph it first and then answer the questions? You'll see, answer the questions first, and I'll show you why you want to answer the questions first before you graph. You ready, Lucas? We're eventually going to graph 3 sine x minus 3. All right, amplitude, 3. Okay, that's the number out in front, 3. Let's go. Need some. Vertical shift. Down 3. Let's go, need somebody. Ready? Usually, at 3 sine x, that midline is still the x-axis. It's never going to go anywhere, right? But now I shifted it down 3, so where's my midline? Y equals -3. Hey, did you guys make any connection yet between where the midline is and the shift? They're always the same, right? Always the same. If the shift is up 5, the midline is going to be y equals 5. If the shift is down 10, the midline is going to be y equals -10. It's wherever the shift is for the midline. All right. Need somebody, Ethan. Who? Okay, Vinny, ready? This is the tough part here. All right, this is where kids get a little screwy for day 1 here. Max and the min. Pre-shift, Vinny. Pre-shift. I didn't shift it down 3 yet. What's my max and min? 3 is my max, and my min would be -3. Everyone agrees with them. Pre-shift. This is what we did yesterday. 3 sine x means it goes up to 3, down to -3. Now you're moving it down 3. So move it down 3, down 3. What's my new minimum? -6. And my new max? 0. There you go. My new max was 0. My new min, -6. Does everyone see that? How that works? Do it pre-shift, then apply the shift. And I'll do this part here, the period. How long is it still going to take? It's still going to take how many units horizontally? 2 pi. That's not going to change today. Now I'm going to start introducing key values. All right, key values every, how many units am I going from here to here? From here to here, here to here, anybody know? From 0 to pi over 2, that's just, well, that's not 1 unit, it's pi over 2. Okay, and I'll explain that more as we get into it tomorrow. Okay, every key value. Basically, every time you're going to put a point, it's going to be at every pi over 2. You're going to put a special point. All right, we ready to graph it? All right. Anybody want to volunteer to come on up before I call a number here? No volunteers? Okay, remember, you get to come up with somebody. And you guys that were here yesterday, you saw it wasn't that bad, all right? Okay, here we go. Who's got 16? Okay, who are you bringing up? Okay, all I want you guys to do, hey, I want the pre-shift curve up here. 3 sine x, that's all I want graphed. This is what we did yesterday. All right, that's all I want graphed from you two. And everyone else can start doing it now while they're trying it out up here. Okay, I want 3 sine x graphed. Without the shift, go ahead, try it. 3 sine x, can you graph it? And it's the sine curve, so The 3 is not going to affect where the zeros are. Oh, hold on. Everybody stop. I forgot to go over something. This is what I told you we didn't graph first for a reason. This is why. What were your new min and maxes? 0 and -6. It's smart to go by ones. Okay, think about that. Don't go by ones, right? That's why we did this. All right? Because if your minimum's -6 and you're going to go by ones, you're not going to have enough graph space. Okay, so maybe go by 2s. Okay, whatever you need to. All right? Hey, I want 3 sine x graphed. No. I don't go that original. I go pre-shift. I cover up the shift, and I want 3 sine x graph for me. And you two decide what you want to go by here and write it down for me. Okay? And just put on the y-axis so we all know 2, 4, 6, 8, -2, -4, negative on the y-axis for me so we know what we're doing. And then somebody's got to draw that curve in. Okay, thanks, man. Looks good. Thanks. So that's why you should find out what the max and the min is before you start graphing, because we would have ran out of graph. Now, here, all these guys did up here was 3 sine x. I still have to take every point and move it where? Down 3. Go ahead. Move every point down 3 now. According to and I'll use the same scale they did. And you better have a maximum of 0 and a minimum of -6 when you're done. And just make sure you label 3 sine x minus 3. So before you graph, very helpful to find out what the new max and min is going to be so you can label your y-axis appropriately. Questions? Are we okay doing this? How are we doing, all right? Graphing the pre-shift one and then shifting it up or down. Can we go to the next one first? Next one, yeah. Can we go to the next one? Who ended up answering the 0 and -6 question? That was you, Vinny? Okay, start it off, Vinny. Remember, I want to answer the questions first before I graph. So who's got the amplitude, Vinny? Amplitude here, Emma? You want to update her? Amplitude should never be negative, right? Okay. Amplitude never negative because it's height. That's what another name for amplitude is the height. You don't want to be a negative 5'10". All right. Okay, Emma, let's go. Next up, who's up? Shift. Up 3. So if I shift up 3, Brianne needs somebody else. What's my midline equation? There you go. Here's the big part of it. Hannah needs somebody here. Isabella, ready? Before I shifted it, -1/2 cosine x. What was my minimum? What was my maximum before I shifted it up 3? -1/2 and whoa. Remember, that tells me what it goes down to and what it goes up to. So minimum of -1/2 and a maximum of +1/2. We okay? Everyone else all right? That's what that number out in front told us yesterday, what it goes up and down to, minimum and max. And now where am I shifting this, Isabella? So I'm going to take -1/2, shift it up 3. What's my new minimum now? 2.5. I shift my maximum of 1/2 up 3. What's my new maximum? 3.5. There it is. 2.5 for my minimum, 3.5 for my maximum. Are we seeing how we're getting these? Okay. Period is still going to be 2 pi, and I'm still going to have key values every pi over 2. My range, when you guys find the minimum max, are you realizing you're finding the range too? Just make sure the minimum always comes first in the range. Before you graph, I changed the directions on you for the graph. I only want you to graph from 0 to 2 pi, so I don't have to worry about the negative side at all. All right, I know I provided it, but I'm only graphing from 0 to 2 pi. So can you, ready? I'm going to have a couple people come up here again. Can you graph -1/2 cosine x for me? -1/2 cosine x before I shift it. That's what I'm going to ask. Anybody want to come up? I assume not, but just checking. But you want to come up with somebody? All right, here we go. I'm going to need number 5 up here. 5. You want to bring somebody up, Annika? First of all, are you comfortable coming up here? Because I knew you've been out for a while, so I didn't think so. All right. 1. Who's coming up, bud? Come on up. He can help him out since he hasn't been here for a while. All I want, -1/2 cosine x. That's it. So you get what I want. I just want -1/2 cosine x graphed up here from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, there you go. First of all, before these men start here. Yeah, I use that term loosely. All right. Is there a reason to change the y scale other than 1? Can I still fit my new max and min if I go by 1s? Okay, so I'll keep it by 1s. Okay, so ready? I'll ask you a few questions. This will help your classmates out too. Cosine usually starts at 1, right? But now if I want you to graph -1/2 cosine x, it's going to start at -1/2. Here we go. What's the second key value? 0. Then it's going to go to, there you go. Look at Lucas flying. We're good. That's all you needed to do, guys. Oh, you want to do the shifted one?
I mean, I thought that was kind of the whole reason we were both up
Okay.
here.
Kid's been out of class. Just wants to start giving me some attitude. No problem. Okay. Go ahead. Yep, absolutely. Go ahead. Shift it up 3 now for me. And we're done. Thank you. Nice job. Everybody good? This isn't that bad, is it? No. Wait till the next problem. Heads are going to be spinning. How we feel graphing, guys? Let's talk here before we get to this next one, because this next one's going to be a beast. Any questions on graphing it? Going? All right, we ready to take on this next one? All right, I'm not asking you to graph anymore. I'm asking for a little something different. I provided the graph. Okay, I've provided the graph. For, whoa, hey, how about this vocab word you can impress people with later? Anybody want to try to take a stab at it? Sinusoidal? Yeah. Sinusoidal. It sounds like something with the sine graph, but actually it means any curve that's sine or cosine. You can refer to as a sinusoidal curve. All right, impress your friends later. This one's a sine curve. And here's what I'm asking from you guys. What is the A and the C value here? Okay, the A and the C value, bless you. All right, well, a little help here. What's A represent again? That's my, what do I call that again? It does start with A. That's my amplitude, okay, the height of the graph. And I can't really tell just by looking at this, right? But I do have a little formula for you that will find the A value. Okay, because you guys right now are just used to picking the number off in front, and there is no number there. We have to find it. All the definition of amplitude is it's half the difference of the max and the minimum. That's all it is. It's your max, the difference between your max and your min divided by 2. All right, who's the last person to ask a question here? Isabella, you're up. I need somebody. Okay, here we go. What's my max value on this graph? And when I talk max value, I'm talking how high on the y-axis does it reach? 22. And minimum, Catherine, it goes down to 6. Everyone agree with their minimum and maximum value? Divided by 2. So the height here is going to be 8. Okay. Questions there, because the C part, I really don't want to, I had people looking at me like I had 10 heads third period. I thought I actually did a decent job explaining it, but it might be them. Everyone okay on 8? Okay, you ready for the C value? What does the C value represent? What have we been doing all day today? What does that C value mean? That's how many units I shift up or down. Everyone agrees. That's how many units I shift up or down. Well, right now, I know my amplitude is 8, right? Which means my original curve went up to 8 and down to -8. But now I shifted it a certain amount of units, and now it's at 22 for a max and 6 for a min, when it originally started out at 8 and -8. So let's start it out at maximum of 8. It had a maximum of 8, but then I shifted it, so now it ended up at 22. So how many units did I shift it then? Don't yell anything out, think about it. Originally, because the amplitude is 8, my graph went up to 8. I shifted it, and now it ends up at 22. So how many units total did I shift it? Who was the last one? What do you got? Who's up? 14, right? I started at 8, shift up 14, I'm at 22. Now let's take it, hey, watch, take it from the other direction now. I would have started at a minimum of -8, right? Everyone agree? Minimum of -8, shifted it up to 6. From -8 to 6, how many units is that? Still 14. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you go from the minimums or the maximums. Does everyone see how I got the 14 out of there? Okay, because the amplitude tells me where I originally went to. I was originally at 8, shifted it up to 22, so 14 spots. All right, Braden, let's go. Need somebody else here. These will go quicker. Megan, ready? Number 5 says determine the range of the new function. I always like to go pre-shift. What was my range of 7 sine x before I did any shifting? Darn right. -7 and 7, right? Before I shifted. Where did I shift? Up 4. Up 4. So now, what's the range of this new function? Wow. There you go. Okay. It's the power of knowing what these numbers out in front, man. Who's up next, Megan? Brooke, ready? -5 cosine x. What was my range? -5 to 5. After I shifted it up to, what's the range of this new function? Okay. Can't say much more. Do you guys have any questions here? Plenty of time to get going. Plenty of time to get started. Okay, here we go. Get started.